Video style, yo, what's up, guys? Another tier list, season 24 RTA tier list. I think I missed the last season for making a tier list. I'm not 100% sure. Had something to do with balance patches being like on and off at times. That wasn't that chill for me to make tier lists. This video is probably going to be kind of lengthy, but I am going to do it same style as before. If you haven't been here for an RTA tier list, let me explain you real quick. I will be explaining all of the units, where I place them. I will name the unit. I will name the position where I place them, so you can actually watch this as a podcast as well. For the people here live in the chat, feel free to discuss any of the units I place at any moment. At some point, if a unit is already placed, I might at all the way at the end, like replace some of the units. So do check out the end if some of the units get replaced. And besides that, I am using tiers that are not triple S, double S, single S, all the way to A, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. I'm using numbers, and the main reason is that if I feel like it, I could say like, okay, I'm going to put a tier above, and I can put this in here. Whereas a double S 0.5 wouldn't make that much sense, but saying like 97.5 or 97 does actually make sense. In the end, any tier list is just a reference of a... like comparing A to B, is A higher than B, and whatever you call it as a tier doesn't really matter. You can simply say, this is triple S, this is double S, it's literally the same thing. But this gives me more flexibility, and therefore I've been using numbers for about the last 10 tier lists that well, probably even more tier lists that I made. So I'm gonna go off by family. Timestamps in the YouTube will be by family, so if you want to check any specific unit, I recommend go in the description down below, or just check it in the bar below. And you can actually see the timeline that way. And I'm actually going to mute the music because I feel like I have to speak louder than I am. So I'm going to, I think I included every unit that is meta relevant. Some of them are not that meta relevant, of course, like Ella and that kind of stuff. So I included, I think, every unit that is meta relevant right now. I might miss some units and I just place some other unit in there and just like replace it at a later moment. So I am actually going to start off with like net 5 families. I have some net 4s at the top, but I think I will start off with net 5 families and then go from there. The first 4 units are always the hardest to place because like it's a relative tier list, like it's A better than B. And placing the first unit is kind of hard, and the moment you have more units placed, you can see like, okay, but this unit is definitely better than the rest of this list. So therefore it goes 1 up or 1 down or anything like that. So let's start off with ninjas. Susano is somewhat used. Susano is actually pretty interesting as a unit against heavy fire teams. Because if they don't crit on him, he gets attacked by, he can kind of solo things. But most of the time, he doesn't really solo it that well. It's just kind of a niche pick. I'm going to place 65 right now. Might end up at 70 or even 60. But it is some of those niche-less picks that could be pretty nice. Garrow's not really used anymore. And then we have Han. Han is, I think, the best single target damage dealer in the game right now, especially with more follow-up that are like more accessible units, whereas you don't need a Wunsa, you don't need a Dark Monkey, you can also use Dark Robo right now with Han. I feel like Han starts shining a bunch more. And as I said, like single target damage dealer, one of the best in the game. It is somewhat countered by Manon, it is somewhat countered by Mali, but I feel like that Han is very strong in current meta, and I'm going to place it at 90 for the moment. Moving on to the Valkyries. The only Valkyrie, we have 2 Valkyries that are being used. Vanessa, I feel like Vanessa is an underused speed unit. Like in the end, a lot of people say like, Oliver is just that OP, remove its speed lead. The speed lead makes him OP. But then again, you have more units having the same speed lead. Why not use those? Because a lot of the meta units out there, like if you heavily speed contest, 33 leads are very impactful. So I feel like Vanessa is somewhat of an underused unit. The kit of it itself is not crazy good, but still armor break is nice. You see people focusing wrong units if Vanessa's on the field from time to time. So I feel like Vanessa's underused, and therefore I'll place Vanessa 75. I feel like it's a strong unit. Akroma. Akroma is always hard to place because Akroma is hard countered by additional damage artifacts. You cannot debuff it and that kind of stuff, but additional damage artifacts in general kind of kill it pretty fast. You have to build it at a very good rate to make it work, but I feel like Akroma as a last pick is still very deadly. But you have to have like certain more like turn 2 units to make Akroma work, kind of. But I feel like Akroma is still pretty solid, and that's an 80 for me. One of the good reasons that Akroma is very solid is technically you can 100% cycle his silence or her silence on a unit because the cooltime is very short on that. So you keep cycling that, and therefore it's pretty solid. I'm gonna go for. Am I gonna go for this unit right now? Yeah, let's put in Clara. Clara's, because of the speed lead right now, is kind of a Chiwu, but I feel like it's similar to a Chiwu. It is. Is it necessarily better or worse than a Chiwu? I don't know. Like, technically, against the Verd, it is better because you can stun it. But it is a worse stripper. So it has its pros, it has its cons, but I think Clara, in most cases, can be pretty solid. And I'm going to put it 80 for now. I'm not sure. Let's actually look, instead of me just like placing the units, let's actually look at win rates like I usually do. So I totally, whoops. Okay, I have to remove those things again. Oh, give me just a second. Nope. 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 And a nope. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at the actual, instead of me just placing the units, let's find them in here and let's actually see where they're at. So let's start off with Susano. It's always hard to find the units in here because I can't type a unit out and I'm probably looking at it already. But it's not used as much, it seems. Susano here. We got a... Oh, wow, that's actually a lot worse than I thought. Holy jeebus. How about Conqueror Rank? Okay, that's... Maybe I'm biased to it that I feel like it's better, but... That deserves a 1 down for just that win rate and that pick rate. Mainly the pick rate, though. Let's look at Han. Dark, we have Han as the 6th most picked units. In Guardian Plus, win rate is not that high. So you can really see that Han needs good runes to shine. So in Conqueror rank, it's pretty decent of win rate. But in G3, it's a lot higher. So Han for me is definitely worth one of those units. High ban rate. Susano did have a high ban rate. That is true. That is true. But then again, it still didn't really win. Let's move on to Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa. Vanessa, ooh, wow, that's actually a lot worse than I thought. Damn. How's that in other rankings? That is actually a lot worse than I thought. You get a 1 down for that low rate. Ban rate is decent, but this is... I cannot... 70. 70 is fine. Let's go for the Acroma. Acroma is over there. Acroma 48. Okay, it's not that high. It's higher in G1. I'm gonna 1 down you for that win rate as well. So it's good to actually check these things as well. Clara, what's your Clara? Ooh, Jeebus. Jeebus. Wow, that's disgusting. That is terrible. Okay. You also get a 1 down for that. Maybe even a 2 down. Yeah, G3 artifacts kind of kill. You need a good team around her to make her work, the Acroma. Clara apparently is inconsistent as fuck. Like, shit. That's some low-ass rates over there. Actually, I totally forgot to keep farming on my accounts. Let's keep farming as well. Back at it. So there we have all of those units placed. Let's continue. Let's continue. We go on with a Barad. Dragons. Barad is not used as much, has the buff right now that it can always land stuff, but it is not used as much in low. Oh, G1, it's actually pretty high win rate. But I feel like often when it's used, there's better options than it. So I would say just a 70. It's just the last pick. It's not used as much. It can be good here or there, but it's nothing like too crazy good. Chimera. Chimera. You over there. 45. Jeebus, that's low. Okay, Tablo Chimera got wrecked, it seems. I feel like Chimera also in most cases is trying to save something and it's like hard-ish counted by it. I feel like Chimera still has some usage. Like if you have Chimera Tablo and you don't get Leod, for example, it is still a very solid and strong comp. Just have to not get like hard counted by it. So like as last picks, I feel like he's still pretty strong at 75 worthy. Zeratu, I'm not even sure if it's used as much in RTA, if even used. No, that's so underused. I'm not even. Well, it's just. Am I even going to place it? The pick rate is that low. Very, very low. But for me, it's kind of on this level. It's nice, it's niche, it can one-shot things, but in the end, most of the times you cannot really draft it, and it's a very straightforward draft. You need like literally 5 units around it to make it work. We go in for third, second most picked fire unit. Win rate not that high in G3, so G3ers are actually kind of... It's funny to see that G3 as the lowest win rate, G1 second lowest, and G or Conqueror like average. So you can see like the higher the ranks are, the easier people can deal with third. But I feel like third, probably his ban rate is still insanely high, and his ban rate being that high makes it that he's quite often also overpicked, I guess. But he's still pretty solid at what he does, and he can be built in multiple different ways. So I feel like third is still very solid of a pick. Julian is a unit you don't see too much. Subspires, how you doing? Subking, how you doing, guys? Julian is a unit you pretty much don't see. I don't think it's good. There's too many ways to kill it these days. 65? Nah, 60 for Julian. Get these nuts. I haven't seen this unit being used in quite a while. And I'm not entirely sure why not. I feel like it's still a pretty decent unit. I wouldn't classify it as super strong, but I feel like it has some usage here and there. Issue is that its S2 doesn't strip. I feel like that is the main issue. But if I had a Kha'Zix, I would probably build a triple revenge. It's annoying as fuck. He's a better Lauren? Yeah, more or less. Well, Lauren you also don't see in RTA anymore. I'm actually very happy for that. That was a shitty meta. So, we are going for some chimeras. And the main chimera that is used for normal elements these days is Mr. Theor. Theor is also one of those units. I feel like it's... Wait, did I even put Lagmaron in? I put Lagmaron. Good. Theor, I feel like that's the one with the low base speed, right? And the low base speed just makes him worse. Like, I feel like in most cases Poseidon still kind of does better, but I feel like he has some options. He's kind of on like the Verrat here. Like, he can be used, he can be good in certain drafts, but I feel like he's nothing crazy good or like anything up there. Racuni, I'm just gonna check whether Racuni is actually kind of used. Barely used, like 0.16, that's... Win rate is not bad, but I'm not gonna place like a 0.16. That's too low for me. Jean, on the other hand, is a 55.7% win rate. That is insanely high. That is probably one of the highest win rates. Number 3 win rate. That is insane. That is legitimately freaking insane as a win rate. And the unit got recently buffed. The buff was very good for him. But also AoE stun without being touched and speed buff. That makes the unit very solid. You do have to have some extra stuff around it. You need some setup again, like around it. But the people that have him, spam him, they are all pretty high rank. Like, I'm not sure about lower ranks, but everyone that I know that spams him has a very good rank. So I wouldn't say straight up 100, but definitely an... Yeah, he's definitely, like, he's not spammed as much as, for example, Onmyouji, which will be higher, of course. But that is strong. That is for sure 95. Yeah, Glory, Scribble, but there's a bunch of more people that do that, like, besides just the streamers that we know. Let's go for a Lagmaron. Lagmaron, man, it's that low. I need binoculars to like even see the fucking number. Holy shit, 38? That's some rockery bullshit. That is some fucking rockery bull. He's low in every fucking tier. Holy shit, I expected more of him. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I expected more. I give it a 65 because I feel like if you draft him in the right way and you just outspeed something and you snipe something, it feels pretty good. But I guess that's most of the time not really that much easy to do. I don't know. Either how is what it is. Is Eshir or Perna's not used in RTA, but is Eshir used in RTA these days? 0.30. Let's say you need to have at least a 0.5% pick rate in G3 to be in here. Like, okay, you have 55% win rate, but 38 matches. Those are not numbers that I can use. It doesn't work. Like, nothing. Eludia. I did see that Scribble made an RTA or an LD tier list and he plays it pretty high. We have a 1.7 with a 54. 1.7 pick rate is actually not that bad. So it's specific cleaves, but for that specific cleave, it's actually working pretty well. So I would go 80 actually. Because I feel like you need too specific of a team to make this work. So any tournament play, this probably won't really work. But I feel like you can make specific drafts and do very well on a Eludia draft and get away with that. Oh, I actually missed out Zeratu, which was still part of the Chimera family. Zeratu is a 50%, oh no, not even, 49.21. We go for a 50% in G1. Zeratu win rate is not that high. I feel like Zeratu is one of those units that can work, can be decent, but the main issue is he needs insane rune requirements to do decent to good. So I feel like Zeratu gets like a 70, like highest. Because I feel like the unit is very good, but he needs insane runes to make it good. Like if Obaba literally needs its best set on it to make it kind of work, then that's probably a unit that's too difficult to rune for most people. Manon also parries Zeratu from multi-hitting. Yes, that does. It's funny how many Obaba core units you put in bad tiers. Well, the fun fact is, Han is not in there, but if you put your absolute best runes on units that are on like 60 tier, you can get top 100. Like if you have G3 runes, like high G3 runes, if you put your absolute best runes on like low tier units, you can definitely get top 100. Absolutely. It doesn't mean that these units are bad. It's just that they require more to make it work. So for that reason, since Zeratu needs to crit, I think you still crit, but your parry is critted. I'm not 100% sure about that actually. If anyone knows if Manon like stops the multi-hit of a Zeratu, let me know. I don't know. Let's continue on with Archangels. Velaju, also a unit you don't see too much or at all in RTA, and for good reasons. We're not even going to place this. Artemil. Probably does. I don't know. Like some of these LD interactions that I don't have, I don't know. Artemil is a 51.5% win rate on a 2.76% pick rate in G3. I feel like Artemil is still pretty legit as a counter pick. Like if the enemy picks a Leo and you counter with an Artemil that has 0 speed and a lot of defense and that kind of good stuff, he does a lot of freaking damage. But it is just a 5th pick. It is just a counter pick. So therefore, it goes pretty much in the same tier as a Chroma. So if it's drafted at the right moment, it's going to do very well. If not, it's probably going to like ruin your shit and make you lose. Fermion is probably also not really used, but I'm just, for the sake of it, I'm going to check how much it's not used. Can I even see this unit in here? I think I should be looking at it right now. Or is it that little used that it's not even on the list right now? Sometimes it's hard to find units in this thing. Higher. Wait, where higher? Wait, why I'm blind for Fermion. Lower. Someone says higher, someone says lower. Oh yeah, Fermion. I'm blind as fuck. yeah. I'm blind for good reasons, never being fucking used. 0.03% pick rate. Yeah, okay, G3s don't like that unit. We go on with Oracles. And Oracles is always an interesting family because it's the only family where all 5 units are very viable. I think there's probably more of that, but... Praha is a 51.70% win rate on a 12.5% pick rate. That is probably... Let's actually check if we don't include the LDs for something that's... Oh, wait, my scrolling is screwed again. Okay. Well, I have to log in again. This site always logs me out. It's annoying. Okay, we go this. And I want to see for a... What is the highest win rate in G3 for non-LDs with a high pick rate? So Oliver win rate is pretty high, actually. But yeah, she's top 3, pretty much. Well, Karno is high too, but pick rate is somewhat lower. Same for Sibala. So probably like 1 or 2. Maybe I should actually remove the good runes from Lima and put the good runes that I have on Lima on Praha. Maybe I should. I give Lima too much love, but she's kind of disappointing me more than she's showing me the love back. So that kind of sucks. That does kind of suck. But yeah, Praha is insanely good. So Praha's at least an 85 for me. Maybe even a 90. I think Praha is probably a 90 because it also has good synergy with a whole bunch of units. For example, Miles. The speed buff is just so good with so many things. It has a good strip. It's a good counter against things like Shizuka as well, because all of the buffs become debuffs. It's very nice. So yeah, I think Praha is a fair 90 for me, whereas Han had... I think it's a fair 90. I think she's a fair 90. Let's continue on with the next one, Juno. Juno is also very good in current meta. It's probably close to win rate. No, it's actually lower win rate, but higher pick rate, higher ban rate. Way higher ban rate, actually. So I would actually classify them as same right now. It's just such a strong unit. It is somewhat overspammed, but I feel like Juno is very strong in current meta as well. Then we go for the one that is a... Sierra, the nerf one. Okay, still 6% pick rate, 48 on the win rate. That is more than I thought, but it's not that crazy good. 75 is what you get. Maybe, well, you're better than Clara for a speed lead. You're different, but it's not accurate. It's not that good. Yeah, these two are like the only, like, besides like 2-3 more units, like high win rate units, normal elements. So yeah, Sierra gets a 75 from me. Sierra's kinda, yeah, just down bad, more or less. We go into a Lima. Lima's actually still picked quite some, but Lima has a negative win rate. Lima has 48.8% win rate. I should literally put my good Lima runes on Praha and like forget about Lima. Like, I had this one tier list where Triple Revenge Lima was the shit. She was up there. And then Count was like, yo, don't put your own units on the 100th tier because they nerfed the living shit out of it. Now Lima is probably like, I tried to make her work and she makes me lose a lot. She's actually kind of down bad. Like, I would say still 75. Like, she can be used in here and there situations. But it's... I don't know, like, legit, I agree with Prygon. Like, the S2, since there's so many more boss from, like, Shizuka and that kind of stuff, getting too slow is worth nothing. Like, legit, if you strip 6 things, I want a 6 turn slow or some shit. I don't know, man. It feels bad. It feels hella bad. So, yeah, she gets a 75 for me. Sierra, 70. No, I feel like Sierra's speed lead still has some decent usage. Like, if you don't have other speed leads, like let's say you don't have an Oliver, you don't have a Moore, Sierra is by far probably still your best option. Then we go for Gianna. And Gianna in current day and age with all of the Robos is somewhat worse, but in bruiser fights, probably still the best stripper. Gianna goes for me on a 95. Do I agree with 95, actually? It is somewhat of the higher pick rate units, But for win rate, comparing to other units, it's not as crazy good anymore as it used to be. I feel like there's a lot more ways to deal with it than Gianna used to be. Like, legitimately, Pra has a higher win rate than Gianna. That is interesting. Like, sure, the Gianna pick rate is higher, but Pra having a higher win rate, that's... I also feel like Gianna's more overspammed than Praha, for sure. Pretty big factor. But, Nah, I can't really bring her one down. I feel like that would be unfair. I feel like, is she on Sean level? Yeah, let's put her 95 for now. Let's put her 95 for now, and we shall see. I'm thinking about a 92.5, because I feel like Sean is better, but I think 95 is fine. 95 is fine for Sean. So let's continue on with OGs, starting off with Annabelle, the still first pick unit of Livert. And he makes good use of it. Definitely. Annabelle, what is the win rate? Win rate is 50.8. That is pretty much solid. That is solid. 3.2% pick rate is not bad. Annabelle is a solid unit, and as you can see in my what's it called? She's not gonna be placed there. In my siege matches, she procs way too much because she has the build in procs and that kind of stuff. She's definitely an 80 for me, probably even 85. The only issue is she kind of needs, if you want to use her good, she has to kind of outspeed your units and to be able to cleanse things. You need good runes on her to make her outspeed your units, unless you're just playing like straight up bruiser. Like if you're playing straight up bruiser, she has really high value. But since her pick rate is not that high, ban rate is pretty high. Let's actually take a quick pick at other ranks. Low ranks have more struggle with her. Yeah, she's hard to build. So I'm going to put her 80 for being hard to build. We got a primer from Mr. Drafts. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So yeah, because she's that hard to build, I'm going to put her 80. I'm going to put her 80. But the kit is good. It's definitely good. We are looking into a Rika. One of the better last picks if the enemy doesn't show any form of immunity or cleanses. But in most cases, it's not that often. And she has an insane win rate and an insane ban rate, but she's not that much used. The main reason is she's just good if the enemy messed up already. So that makes her good. Like if the enemy has like a weak draft, she becomes good. But can you spam her? Absolutely not. So I feel for that reason, she belongs in the tier 75, and 75 is a lot of these like last picks, insanely good, but often not that used. That is what it seems like. Should I want her up? Because this high of a ban rate and this high of a win rate, I'm gonna want her up for... the pick rate is that low though. Struggles. Because I feel like she's better than the other last picks. Because I feel like that a Rika, if drafted at the right moment, is more likely to win than an Artemil or an Akroma. Because Artemil and Akroma still can get kind of rugged. I am actually going to put an in-betweener tier at a kind of a weird place, but hey, my tier list, I can do what I want. So we're going to put her at a 77.5 Rika only tier. For now. Because I feel like these units are more often picked. And these units are just worse last picks. We continue on with a Charlotte. Which used to be banned of a name, but now you can actually finally say Charlotte. But they forgot Assassin. I think. They forgot something else. I don't know. I think people are still sleeping on Chroma. Maybe, but I don't know. Like, additional damage... Like, before it was really countering, like, AoE CC. But with AoE CC, you can literally kill her on additional damage. Like, even Robo freaking destroys an Akroma. Charlotte actually used to be, like, a super high win rate as a last pick unit. But in G3, apparently is not anymore. Interesting. I've seen CP destroy Akromas. Exactly. Additional damage artifacts. I feel like Charlotte can be pretty nice. It can be niche here and there if you actually make it as a Swift Charlotte, but most of the time, if it's a Swift Charlotte, the draft kind of gives that away. I would say Charlotte gets a 70 for me. I feel like Charlotte is not something I would use too often these days. Laura, on the other hand, is even worse. Where's Laura even? Laura's all the way down there. 0.21. 50. Technically, I don't have to pick it in, but that's just straight up bad. 55. I just wanted to place it. Then on the other side, we have Nikki. And Nikki is fucking OP. Nikki does need good runes to shine, but in G3, people have good runes. And you can actually see, like, the higher the rank, the better Nikki performs. Nikki is insanely good, I think. She's not as spammed as much, but her win rate is crazy high. Plus, she has an attack, like, she has an S3 attack buff, and then she has a heal based on attack as well. So she heals pretty much full of fucking HP. Plus additional damage, plus heal block on multi-hits. Heal block is actually very strong, because a lot of the things that are countered by AoE CC kind of style is that you can still heal. Like a Molly can heal, this can heal, that can heal. Even a Juno can heal. But multi-hit heal block is very strong against that. And that made Nikki that good right now. So Nikki is straight up 95 for me in current meta. We continue on with Hell Ladies. I feel like Rocky is not used as much, but I actually have been wrecked by a Rocky when I picked a Nana the other day, and it worked pretty well because the S3 is multi-hitting right now as well. But apparently if you check this rate, it doesn't happen all too often, and I don't even have to place it in. Then we continue on with a Ethna. Ethna is very much picked. Ethna is, I would say, pretty much overbuffed. She is very strong right now. She's very annoying to deal with. So the pick rate is very high, ban rate very high, and a positive win rate for a normal net 5 on this high pick rate, that high ban rate, means that the unit is pretty solid. And the unit definitely is very solid right now. I'm not sure if it's on Praha Juno level. I feel like Praha Juno are still doing better. Also, if you look at the rates of like the win rates and that kind of stuff. But Ethna for sure is very strong at the moment. And it's also one of the better speed contesters. The only issue is her S3 some of the times, like if your S3 doesn't deal enough damage and you don't stun it instantly, GG. So I need pretty good runes to make that one work as well. Then we go on with a Asima, which according to Absa needs a speed lead. No, I was just joking. But 53.5% win rate and a 2%, close to 2% pick rate makes Asima by far the strongest last pick you can do. It is like a recon steroids. Plus you can spam it into, like you can make a specific draft to make it work. I'm gonna put it 80 though, because there's a whole bunch of counters to it. But Asima is very strong. And if you build like a specific comp for her, same as Eludia, she can be insanely, insanely good. Kraka is a unit we don't see all too much, as if... I know Guts uses her. Ooh, wow, 53% win rate on a 3.3% pick rate. That is actually good, and the ban rate is high too. That's definitely a unit that's being slept on. Holy shit. The thing is, she can Despair Stun Strip, and she has that up all the fucking time, and then she also has a Revive. I feel like she's at least an 80. Like, bare minimum an 80. Yeah, her S3 is not as great, but her S2 is very good. Plus, you have, like, good cycling, lots of Despair options. I think a solid 80. If she was used more, I would put her higher, but she's not used as much. Then we go on with some... What are those things called? Rigel and Antares. Forgot the names. Rigel even used that much. I feel like Rigel's kinda... G3s do not like Rigel. It's used in one game. I would not be surprised if that's my game. Like, I do have a Rigel rune. And it lost apparently in that one game. So, that's not that great. Let's look at Antares on the other hand. Antares is used a little bit more. Antares is terrible. You want to know why Antares is terrible? Let me see what's the highest weakness of Antares. Those are actually weird units. A lot of cleaves. I expected something else. Where's Manon? Like, I expected Manon to destroy Antares. Antares in current meta is not that great. But then this one person could be like, yeah, but then you have Pinkroyd and he first picks Antares and he gets to like top 50. Pinkroyd can pick any unit first pick and then pick 4 counters and he can make it to top 50. That doesn't make a unit good. That absolutely does not make a unit good. Like more often it's like also he's pretty much a lucky player and then picking a lucky unit kind of works out most of the time, but I would say Antares is as weak as Antares has ever been, mainly because of Manon. And Manon just makes her like, she annihilates this unit. Like, oh, you AoE shit, I put my shield in your face and it dies. Tell that to Zigbear. Well, if you get like certain units that hard counter you, like to be honest, if an Antares procs all the time, it's still over here, but Antares mostly doesn't. So I'm raiding your Antares. So, okay, for this tier list, I'm raiding your Antares, not enemy Antares. Huh? Now you understand why I put Antares in this tier list. I raid your Antares. You are picking Antares. Then your Antares is here, and all of y'all agree. But I'm gonna be less biased and put it on the 75. It's still a good last pick. And it's actually in the tier with like good last picks. Because for this win rate, I should have lowered it. Enemy Antares is like 115, but nah, just kidding. We have Chow. Unit that I mostly don't like. It's mostly one of those units you feel like should solo everything, but then 38 win. Wow. 38% win rate. At least he's consistent with the 38. He has 0.38 pick rate and 38 win rate. So if more people pick him, this also goes up. Like if 1% people pick him, he wins all the time. I mean, that's how logic works. It's math. Can't deny with math, right? So yeah, Chow is not that great. Chow goes over here. It's mostly one of those things you expect it to be able to solo shit, but this thing probably solo shit better. Most of the time. We go on to a Laika. Laika is also, it's hard to use Laika because there's so many multi-hits, but still, 50% win rate, 2% pick rate. Wow, that's, I'm not gonna lie, that is a lot higher than I expected. So I would thought like around like 65, but I'm gonna give him a 70 for that. I still don't. The ban rate is pretty high too. Does it happen that many drafts where he's just that good of a pick? Where against Cleaves, I see. Yep, good pick against Cleaves. Bad pick against it loses to Diana. That's just funny as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's good against Cleaves. Interesting. Okay, not bad. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 70. Do I give it higher than that? Not just 70. It's not used that much. I still doubt it's good against Nikki. I highly doubt it's good against Nikki. Yeah, I think Nikki would just eat this unit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then still take it as a snack. We continue on with more Dragon Knights. We go on with the Leo, ACOG's favorite unit. 45 ban rate, that's high. Pick rate, not that high. Let's actually see, if we click on the 4v4, that is when the unit is in the match. So the fun fact is that this unit is on a higher win rate when it's banned than when it's actually in the match. So if people let it through, it's going to lose like at a higher rate. It's actually pretty interesting as well. So I think Leo's still good, definitely. Like even for this low win rate, I still have to place it very high. But I feel like Leo in current meta doesn't shine as much. Like more and more people actually build those hardcore Leo counters. And the hardcore Leo counters tend to work against Leo. That makes sense, right? But yeah, for that reason, I feel like Leo's also overspammed and put in the situation like I've completely fucking lost this draft. Leo. So yeah, for that reason, Leo's also not like if he would be less spammed, he would probably have higher win rate. But I'm gonna place it at an 80 right now. Then we continue on with Scribble Bibble's favorite unit. He even has 2 of them. That's how much he likes it. No, I love you, Scribble. It has a positive win rate. It has a positive win rate, Scribble. 0.74. I think he actually tried to end the win rate to lower than that. But no, it's not a good unit. Like, by all means, it's not a great unit. It can be used here and there, but It's this niche last pick, but even now with Manon, it's just like, oh, you actually do justice. No, never mind. Yeah, they're going to nerf it, so over 50% win rate. Pick rate is nearly not existing. Then we go to the one and only, that's always been high, and never will be changed. It's actually the most picked dark unit, still. 30% pick rate, 51.6% win rate for Mr. Ragdoll. I feel like this is as good as a meta it gets for Ragdoll. Because Ragdoll is such a, like, the current meta is really a lot about pivoting your draft. So you pick a few speed units, and then you pivot towards Bruiser. Or you just go for complete Bruiser, and then Ragdoll fits already. So I actually feel like Ragdoll is better than these units. So I don't feel like Ragdoll is a 100 tier, but I do feel like he's better than these units because he fits so many drafts and he still does that well currently. And if Ragdoll owners disagree with me, I don't give a shit. My tier list. But Ragdoll is definitely better than these units. Because you can spam Ragdoll in so much shit. Like if you had the Ragdoll passive that it used to be, man, Ragdoll will be here. Can you see it on the screen? Why is he not 100? There are a few counters to him, like Bolvrig Molong, that kind of shit. Like if you don't crit, that kind of shit. Oh, your units don't crit. There are a bunch of counters to it, but he's still very strong, very powerful. Pick Isis. Don't pick Isis into Ragdoll. Wouldn't recommend it. We go on with some manky business. And the manky business we start off with is Shiho. Used to be absolute shit tier. Used to be one of the best tier. Currently at a 52.8% win rate on a 1.5% pick rate. That is, no joke, a lot higher than I expected. What kind of units you beat? You beat Tessas, you beat Tinlangs. That is odd. You beat Veronica's, you beat Yeon Hong's. That is odd. I'm literally expecting like 75 clean. That is like legit looking at like 4 matches. Like I'm pretty sure it took 4 matches and it won like 3 out of 4 or some bullshit. So that's the same as this, like 1 or 2 matches, 0. So let's actually, if we go to other ranks, we get a loading screen. Okay, don't want to look too long at it. Let's see if we check this. Low win rate by quite some, low win rate by quite some. I expected this kind of win rate actually, not this. But since it's my tier list, I feel like maybe less good pick. English. Maybe a good last pick. And we're gonna treat it as maybe a good last pick. And that makes Shiho at a 75. Win rate is very high, ban rate is pretty high, but I feel like he's not on recall low. He's definitely not on recall level, he's not on this level. Definitely not. Mei Hao Wang. We have a Mei Hao Wang that's pretty much almost never picked, it seems, over here. 50% win rate, but a 0.17% pick rate, which is near to non-existing, means we're not gonna place this unit. I feel like he needs... If he was a different element, he could have maybe had a shot at it. But as a fire element, I feel like he doesn't do enough against the wind units, because a lot of the wind units are just too heavy on the CC to make him even do anything. We have Xingzi, which as a close to 74%, or wait, 47% win rate. 74 would be very high. We do that thing in the Netherlands where we switch the numbers. We say the last number first, and I have the happen reason of doing that always wrong. But yeah, 77 makes easy. So 7.77% pick rate. Win rate is not as high as I thought. I think it's one of those units that's overspammed as well. I feel like in current meta, it's actually pretty strong units still. So this is a low win rate unit that I'm actually going to pick or place at a higher pace as well. I'm going to put it on Rika level. Not because it's the similar way that Rika's played, but it is one of those units, if picked in the correct draft, he is very annoying to deal with. So 77.7 on a 7.77 pick rate. Totally not biased by numbers. Then we go for a Qitian Desheng, or as some people just call him, Light Monkey. Light Monkey is close to 50% win rate. It's even under 50% win rate right now, which is actually the lowest I've seen the Light Monkey at ever. So I feel like that he's just struggling against the passive meta. In lower ranks, G1 and Conqueror, he's like high 53s, 54s. But then G3 he drops off. And I think it's the passive meta that makes him difficult to play. So for that reason, he used to be like 95, he has been 90s, that kind of stuff. I feel like I'm gonna place him at, I think he's still 85. He's a very good last pick. And Juno, HP reduction and Juno buff hit him hard. Yeah, so I think he's a very, very solid last pick, but only as a last pick. So, yeah, maybe let's go 84, because there's other units that kind of do similar stuff these days, and they just kind of do it better. So, 84, the Chitian Deshun. We continue on with Dark Monkey, Zhongsong Lao. My least favorite LD that I have is a 1% pick rate and a 48% win rate. 548. I feel like he only works if you have like perfect setup for him with a bunch of other dark units and a Han. Like I feel like without Han, this unit is pretty much straight up garbage. Like if his S3 was consistent, always stunning, I would say Monkey is like 85 tops. But Monkey is just like, his whole kit is so fucking inconsistent that just makes him bad. Because his S3 is not 100%. His S3 does damage from HP and attack, but he barely has any attack stats. His S2 is only damage from attack, but he barely has any attack stats. His S1 only does damage from attack, but he barely has any attack stats. He literally has like, he has the same attack as a fucking slime. Like it's 500 something, nah, it's 600 something, but it's low as fuck. Like his base HP is high, but he has only half a skill scaling with base HP. So it just makes the unit deal absolutely fucking no damage. And then it's just a strip armor breaker and a maybe sometimes stunner. I would drop him at a 70. 70 is what he gets from me. That thing is not really used. We continue on with Yeon Hong, which is still, I think, my most wanted LD5. Not necessarily because she's that good, because she's that cool. She's a playmaker. But because of that, I might be slightly biased on how good she is. She's definitely a 90. Is she more than a 90? The main issue with Yeon Hong is S2 missing strip. Like, if her S2 was more consistent, Yeon Hong would be straight up like here. But since you often have to choose for Yeon Hong to use her S3 rather than her S2, or you might instantly lose the match, makes her quite a bit worse, I would say. So, for that reason, but I still feel she's better than that. She is better than that. We're going to work with a lot of in-betweener tiers, it seems. I don't give a shit, my tier list. Because she's definitely better than that. Because it's still, like, for a heavy speed meta, she fits. She fits. So I would say 92.5 because she's better than that, but she's worse than that. We continue on with Wu Yang. Unit that's not used all too much. Cleavers can make it work really well, I guess, but you need some good Chi runes to make it work. An arena offense really cool. This shit is actually terrible because most cleaves, actually, if someone like specifically say like I cleave all the fucking time, they have such insane runes on it that it mostly wins. So even if you check, for example, like a good example I can give, I can guarantee you, I haven't checked, if I go to Lucian, he's 50% plus. Because not many people use him, but the people that do use him to a certain extent, they for sure get 50% plus win rate. 53, exactly, right? Barely picked, but 53 win rate. If you use a unit that's pretty much cleave, actually for just the cleave unit, it's I don't know. This is kind of low. Not biased at all, Yeon Hong at 92. Hey, she has a pretty high pick rate and a high win rate. Decent win rate. Yeah, maybe she's more than just cleave. But she's doing more than just cleave, but not good. Because she's not good enough to do non-cleaves. Like, I think she's only good in cleaves. So I'm gonna give her 77.5 at best. Like, this win rate is absolutely soggy shit. I should even lower that, but I feel like she can do some work. She should be able to do some work. Let's continue on with Pioneers. We go on with a Wusa. Wusa is close to 20% pick rate and a 48.24% win rate, which is not too bad for the amount of pick rate and for a normal element. But it is also nothing too crazy, and I think it just straight up fits the 80 rank. It's a very solid last pick, but also something that's maybe overused. Like 20% is quite a lot, I would say, for Wusa. We go on with a Chiwu. Chiwu is actually pretty nice right now, and I feel like Chiwu is probably still... No, it's similar to Clara. It's like just straight up similar to Clara. They have both perks, or like both cons and pros that are slightly different. Clara's better into Vert. Chiwu's better into better speed lead, higher base stats. Is it higher? No, I think it's same. I don't know. This is 103. What's like 102, 103? I think it's 103 as well. I don't know. Yeah, it's 103. Could be wrong. Fuck, don't care. But yeah, Chiwu does do quite some more damage if you actually land an armor break. This thing does more damage if you have additional damage artifacts. So they're kind of same, different, but still the same, I would say. Let me continue on farming on my own account. Choose 103. Yeah, I do know that part. The Clara I wasn't sure about. But let's continue on. I want to see, this unit's probably not going to be placed, but I just want to see where it's sitting at these days for Mr. Nigang. Nigang OP. Everyone pick Nigang. Oh wait, then the win rate would drop. Would this unit actually, like, no cap, no bias, would this unit be good in the Bruiser meta right now? I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it still does too little, but it's less than 0.5% pick rate, so I don't even have to place it anyways. So I'm not going to. We go on with Wunsa. Wunsa is also struggling because there's so many good strippers these days. There's a lot of non-will potential. There's a lot of counters. There's a lot of passive. So Wunsa is also... there's a Garo. Wunsa is also no longer as good as used to be, but still a very solid speed contesting unit. So I would say Wunsa gets an 85. Like, the win rate is somewhat low, but I feel like it is still a pretty impactful, useful unit. And also, if you know someone has a Wunsa, like if you draft tournaments and you know someone has a Wunsa, you can draft it at every moment. It makes you feel like, okay, I cannot just do this or that because that unit might show up if I do. So that makes the units also have some value, like if you know your opponent has it. Go on with Thessarion. Thessarion is the third most picked fire unit at the moment. Kind of overspent. High ban rate. Win rate not that much. 47. I feel like Thessarion is nice, but also somewhat overspent. But Thessarion kind of fits like the rest of the 80 tier. It's a pretty solid unit. It's not, no, it's definitely not higher than that 80 tier. It's definitely where he belongs. Elsharion. I feel like Elsharion is also one of those units. It only works if you put your absolute best set on it. And that's somewhat misleading sometimes as well. Like if a streamer like or anyone puts their absolute best set on a specific unit, the unit will shine. And then if you try it yourself on like a third or fourth or fifth set that you have, and you're like, yo, this unit does nothing. Like it does no damage, does not speed, it doesn't strip, it's shit. Like, yeah, it's one of those units that really shines on good rune quality. So I technically don't even have to place it. I'm not going to place it. I'm still going to place it, but for me, Elsharion is like, if you invest like super good runes in it, he's probably like around like 80, 85, but I would feel like on average he's probably just 70. Nah, 75. 75 you can get. We go on with Veramos. Veramos, I would be surprised if Veramos has a low pick or a low win rate. Whoa. Yeah, Vero is fucking good. Vero, like, if you haven't built your Veramos yet, Triple Nem is the way to go. Veramos is insane. It's countering so many things these days, and it's just solid at what it does. Like, it's literally freaking solid. 3.5 on like close to 55. 55 is insanely high. I would... It's definitely better than these units, 100%. Would it be that good? No, I don't think so. What is the ban rate? 27. I expected a higher ban rate, to be honest. But yeah, Veramos 85. That's the highest we've seen. Veramos on crit damage build. No. Crit rate. Speed, crit rate, HP. That's definitely the way to go. And triple Nem. Triple Nem is the way to go. So that's all for those. Then we continue on with Polar Queens. Starting off with the one and only Tiana. I actually played against a guy that had Neftis moving before Tiana, so Tiana became a damage dealer. That was actually somewhat of an interesting draft. Didn't work out for him because he got fucked by a Robo, but the idea was kind of funny. And it was a triple Nem Tiana, actually. So that's... You can build some trap Tianas. And I feel like for that reason, Tiana can be pretty nice. Yeah, trap Tiana, that kind of stuff. But the thing is, you kind of want then a triple Nem that also outspeeds. Like, if you don't have to trap him, that kind of shit, you probably don't have that because your base speed is absolutely zoggy shit. But I feel like Tiana can be pretty nice. I'm gonna put her 75. We have the Light Polar Queen, which I think is a very strong unit. Definitely. Win rate says something different. Scribble, you're ruining our win rate. Let me see if Scribble's the highest win rate with this unit. Oh wait, it's in here. There's only 2 people. He's the second highest. Fair enough. Fair enough. I feel like this unit is a lot better than what has been shown there. Interesting. Struggles against a bunch of things. Leo. I'm surprised about Leo. She cycles enough that should be good against Leo, no? Okay, I'm actually going to... Let's see on the other ranks. 50. That's something I expected. Like 50, just below 50. Apparently G3 units have the good of Junos. And just fuck her up or some shit. I don't know. But I feel like she's solid. She is definitely solid. But I would say 80, but her win rate is that low that I have to put her 77.5. Is what it is. Is what it is. Like, I can't sell like a 46 win rate at like an 80 rank. Like, even 77.5 is already pretty high. But I feel like the unit is solid. We continue on with a Lydia's probably not used. We go on with Mermaids. Let's start off with Molly. Molly is the most picked light unit. Molly is 28%, 28.32% pick rate, 50.15% win rate, high ban rate. Very, very solid unit, especially in current meta. I think this is, like, besides we had like the full-on Molly meta at one point, I feel like this is probably the best spot where Molly is in for like a long time. Molly does insanely well. But is 90 too high? 90 is too high. 85. 85. Because if she had a higher win rate, if she had like 51-ish win rate, I would have put her there. But yeah, 85, definitely fine. We continue on with Tetra, and I'm very curious to see where Tetra win rate is at. Because I really like Tetra. But I also see a lot of people misuse Tetra. Ban rate is insanely high. Keep that in mind. Win rate is 46.44. That's kind of low-ish. Pick rate is decent. On a 3.5. But I feel like she's better than that. The thing you have to keep in mind, I'm not going to place her at 85, but the difference is between the two of them. Molly heals from like her ally max HP. So a Molly is a better healer next to a Molong because it heals from Molong's HP. But a Tetra heals from Tetra's HP. So if you put a Tetra next to a squishy unit or a relatively squishy unit, let's say for example a Verdi or a Han, she will probably heal more than a Molly does. So you need a lot of HP on her. So don't slack on the HP. Like, go decent amount of speed, probably Swift Nem, but then go HP on her. And I would say 80 then. 80 because her win rate is pretty low. Like, her win rate, it's hard to sell that win rate at this, but I think people misuse her. Tetra's very solid, I would say. But that might be a certain bias. Then we go on with the CMs. Starting off with the Posey. The one unit every guild leader loves if their people use it in Siege. And apparently it's pretty fucking garbage in RTA these days. 42% win rate. On a 0.74% pick rate. It is a 0.5% pick rate, so I kind of have to pick it. But I would say it is... Is it as... No, I actually feel like Theor is currently better. Theor is currently better because of the S2. Huh. Yeah. Gets a 65. It's a difficult unit to place. Okeanos, unit we haven't really seen that much as of lately. I did saw that Childish made a video on it. I think there were still a few people still using Okeanos, but not too much. And 41.24% win rate is actually showing that Okeanos should probably still belong in the trash. Fuck, that's some low win rate. Holy Jesus. I think you need insane artifacts and runes invested in him, and then he's probably around here, but most people don't, and I don't think he's really that much worth it. It is a 60 for me, and that's 65. 65. I'm giving 65. Yep, just that. We have a Triton. Triton never leaves the meta. Triton will probably never leave the meta. And it is a 5% pick rate, which is actually higher than I thought, and a 48.04% win rate, which is not bad. That is actually not bad. It's a heavily speed contesting unit. I would... No, I'm gonna put it 75. I feel like 75. It's in between like the other strippers that do like similar kind of stuff, like niche in their own situation, but often you reset your pushback or you reset your pushback and you're fucked. Right. Let's go on with a Pontus. Pontus is a 3.33 on the pick rate and a 51.36 on the win rate. Pontus is pretty solid. Pontus is pretty solid. It also is speed lead, which makes me even more solid. But I feel like it's not that crazy of a unit in most cases, because you have like the Juno Praha really hard counter Pontus these days. But it is still a solid pick. Would I put Pontus higher than that? Pick rate is somewhat low, but ban rate is actually pretty high. No, I'm actually going to put Pontus on 85. I feel like Pontus is actually, even besides those two units, if you pick a Pontus last, it is very nice. Plus, you can make a trap Pontus. It's very easy to just go like triple Nem Pontus or double Nem Will Pontus, Vio Nem Pontus. You don't know how the Pontus is built. So, Pontus can really screw you over just by like bold mindfuck, I would say. We continue on with a... Oh, Stella. I feel like I'm the only Stella user out there these days. But I just like her. So, I'm my own bias face is gonna put her in there. She probably has... Oh, that's fucking shit. Wait, why is that so shit? I bet you I used them more than 11 times. Okay, people cannot make use Stella. Stella is my meme. Stella is my meme. That's why Stella is in there. No, I legitimately feel Stella is a nice cleanup unit. Holy fuck, I would definitely rate Stella like 75 or 70, at least bare minimum, but at least she's shit. Still gonna put her 70. My bias, my tier list. Fuck y'all. Okay, we continue on with that stat. 50. That's a clean looking number. 1.5. It's still being used. It's still being used. It's mainly cleave kind of shit still. So I'm not really. Yeah, 70 it is for the stat. Not gonna make too much words out of it. Sekhmet. As people like to call her, Sekhmet. Rip in peace for the the people that don't land their S3s. 45.40%. That's some rockery win rate. The rate is high. Actually, wait, this is in the 4v4. Oh, wait, I had every unit in the 4v4. Well, it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, that's interesting. Wait, I do actually want to check for Stella then, because Stella in the 4v4 might actually do... I think when she's banned, she has the best potential to kill shit. Right? Right? So if people let her through, she's not gonna do anything. Sekhmet is the cursed queen. It's pretty fucking accurate right there. Not gonna lie, that's pretty fucking accurate. So yeah, Sekhmet, the moment it's let in through the match, it's just terrible win rate. It still has the pressure in the draft. And for the pressure in the draft, I'm gonna give her a decent rating. Actually, a pretty decent rating. Because I feel like the pressure in the draft still makes her viable to a certain extent. Even though her win rate doesn't really replicate that. Okay, I'm gonna -1 her for that. 77.5 Sekhmet. We go Hathor. I've seen someone going Gani Hathor again. And I'm not liking it because it's just... boring and shit. 51.05 on the win rate, 2.13 on the pick rate. And it does better. Oh, it does better in the draft as well. Okay, interesting. This unit, it's by all means, it's not a bad unit. It's just 75 for Hathor. No, 75. Fuck Hathor. Stupid unit. No, that's my bias of not liking the unit. She's actually pretty good. We continue on with Isis. Probably not picked enough to be on the list, but we can give her a shot at checking. If I can find her. She wouldn't be that far down, would she? Oh, over here. It's actually 2% pick rate. Wow. Wait, this is funny. This is funny. So, in the draft, people are like, yo, this unit is good. I got the banner. She's going to like silence everything. Like, I'm fucked if I let it through. And then she has a high win rate. But then people actually let her through. It's like, fuck, I had to ban the other unit. Oh, Isis actually didn't do jack shit. I win. That's a really interesting thing. So for the draft, she actually has draft favor. Like, besides that, she does pretty much nothing. But for in the draft, she's strong. 70 it is, I guess. Then we go on with Nethys, which is, as of recent, my best pick on my accounts. I actually expected a higher win rate on Nethys, because I feel like Nethys is a very strong unit. However, with Veramos being that good right now, Juno, Tetra, Racuni, blah, 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 yada, yada, all the passives, spamming Nethys makes it difficult unless you have a whole bunch of LDs that compare with it. What is her win rate compared to Ragdoll? I actually want to put her kind of next to Ragdoll too. Ragdoll is higher pick rate, higher win rate in both quadrants. So that makes it very simple. Nethys becomes a 95. I feel like Nethys used to be like higher, but since there's so many good counters, Juno, Veramos, Tetra, Nethys becomes harder to play and at least to spam, and therefore the win rate is dropping. I think that's fair. We go on with Wajet and the Horuses. 45.73% win rate for Wajets on a 2.13% pick rate, which is pretty low. And it's also understandable. The unit is just a speed lead with a boost, but besides that, it doesn't do anything. Like, even the buffs that it has don't do enough. Like, if it had an attack buff, instantly, good unit. If it had a immunity, instantly, good unit. But anti-crit and death, or what the fuck he even has, 70 for Wajet it is. We go on with its brother, Amduit, recently buffed. I've seen it being used a little bit here and there, but I really noticed the strip is that low of a rate that it's mostly not doing great. I actually, I played with, I think I played against Lest, and Lest used Veramos and Wedget against me, and I had Gianna on the field. I could just throw bombs on Wedget, and it would explode before Veramos took a turn. the counter interaction was very stupid on that one. So yeah, I feel like Wedget is nothing crazy, 65. I felt like he had potential. I definitely ruined one up as well, but it was not good enough. We go on with a Pisama. Oh, this tier list is getting so long already. Pisama is very low win rate, and I think the low win rate is because people are using Rage Pisamas. I feel like a Despair Pisama technically has a higher win rate, whereas a Rage Pisama has most of the time. I lost this draft. Jesus, take the wheel. I'm gonna see if Pisama can one-shot everything. And then most of the time it does. So my Pisama also has a pretty low win rate. Rage is more fun. Totally agree. I actually have two Pisamas built. But yeah, it's not doing that well. It's just there for the speed lead-ish kind of stuff, but I'll give it a 70. I'm also curious if it's probably higher. No, wait. It's low on both. That's pretty shit, not gonna lie. Okay, Pisama gets a 70. Daphnis, the one and only unit I always called a coin flip unit. Decently picked, though. Decently terrible win rate, 45 and 46 respectively. Still coin flip units. That could be niche here and there. 65 for that. Never have liked it, never will like it. We go for a Ganymede. It's a unit that should be used more, I feel. 50%, no wait, 50.83% win rate on a close to 5% pick rate is very good for a normal element. That's actually insanely good for a normal element. However, if I'm actually want to check this out, if his godly width is fully LD or not, because I think it would be. No, actually, it's not that bad. Well, actually, not at all. Wait, I'm surprised because I felt like Ganymede is just an hyper the utility for any LD, but it's actually not the case. It's just good with a whole bunch of things. Interesting. So Ganymede gets a 77 for me. Where would I put Ganymede higher? I actually feel like Ganymede might be 80. I feel like I should use more Ganymede too. Because it's just so solid of a unit. Like AoE, reset, ventilate, such good skills. Swift Ganymede is also very nice. It's not godly with Shizuka. I feel like with Shizuka you're lacking too much damage and like you're lacking damage right away and you're lacking sustain. So let's see what it's trash with. Actually, yeah, okay, I get these kind of things. That doesn't really work. This doesn't really work. This one I'm surprised about. Yeonhong Ganymede always felt very strong. Like, same as a lot of people say, like, oh, Ganymede with Light Parla Queen is super OP. No, they're literally doing the same thing over and over, and they're doing nothing. Like, it's the same if you get paid nothing and then you get a raise in your salary and you get 2 times nothing. Guess what you end up with, right? Let's go for a Oberon. Where the here, Oberon. Yeah, we totally find it. 3.38 on a 48.73. That is lower than I thought, but it's also countered by all of the freaking passives these days. And it's also somewhat nerfed because Shizuka is nerfed. I still feel like Oberon is at least a 70. Nah, 75. 75. I feel like you need to invest good runes into him. I feel like the best Oberon is probably still a double Nem Will Oberon, but it has the one shot, which makes it pretty difficult. But I feel like Oberon can be pretty nice still. Then we have Nyx, and please let this thing load again. Why is this thing not loading? Let's refresh cache, refresh thingy. This website was slow the other day as well. So let's see if that actually does it. Is Nemesis Rune meta? Never like not meta, and it's never really meta. Let's call it that way. Okay, that actually did work. Great. Fixing your own computer and shit. Nyx. Nyx is not being used as much, apparently. Well, I felt like Nyx would be used more. Why can I not find Nyx? Oh, over there. Wow, that's pretty low. 0.82 on the pick rate, 44.5 on the win rate. That's a lot worse than I thought. I am going to give it same tier as that. It could work in... No, I'm actually going to lower it down. You're betting on something to happen that's RNG. Fuck, that's a shit unit. We continue on with Molong. Molong back in meta. One of the most picked units once again, but actually kind of low win rate. Interesting. Why are your win rates so low? Maybe people are over spamming it and it's still hella countered by AoE CC. But I feel like Molong is a solid 80 in current meta. Because Molong is just, it's countering so many things, but it's struggling to counter those things. Because it's countering the Manon, it's countering the Ragdoll even. It's just countering so many things. So it's just countering good things. Then we go on with a Feng Yang. Unit is pretty solid right now looking, but in the end not really showing. Is that a right way of saying it? Maybe. Does he do better in lower ranks? Slightly, but also not that great. I feel like Feng Yang feels better, but I I don't know. Maybe you need better artifacts to make him work or some shit. I feel like Feng Yang is not bad, but apparently he's struggling with countering the things he should counter. What is your weakness? A whole bunch of things. Strong against Antares. That's actually... He's strong against a whole bunch of fire units. That's actually weird and funny as fuck. Strong against Masha. I highly doubt that, but that's... strange. Okay, I'm gonna give Feng Yang a 75 regardless of the low win rate. I feel like Feng Yang is pretty solid. We continue on with a Tianlang. Tianlang over there. 51.56. That's lower than it was in most things. I'm not sure what dropped the win rate of Tianlang. I feel like Tianlang is still by far the best 5th pick you can make in the game. It's just so freaking solid, so freaking strong. Like, if there's a bunch of boosters on the field, you drop in that Tianlang, it is a must ban. Like, it's actually, I expected a higher ban rate. And he's better if he's banned. No, wait, he's better if he's let through, yeah. I still feel like I'm actually going to one down him because the win rate is not crazy high. Like, some of these other units around here have crazier win rate. Better than Asma? Yes, it's a better last pick than Asma. Because Asma's not used that often, whereas this is used quite often. What's up, Adipandro? Hi there, my man. Yeah, I'm gonna one down the Tianlang to 95. We go for a Miying, which I feel like is a pretty good bruiser in current meta as well. It should not be that far down. Yes, he's over there. Win rate is not that high. 47. I feel like it's a stronger Feng Yang, like straight up. If Feng Yang is over there, Miying is over there. Like that's just like factual. It's just doing things better in my opinion. He's very solid, I would say. So 77.5 for Miying for me. We go on with Ranuki, the one we call Racuni. No, wait, Ranuki. It's Ranuki. Ranuki has a high pick rate. Ranuki has a very stupid ass unit. Ranuki is actually on a pretty decent win rate as well. It's 48.60 on the win rate and close to 6 on the pick rate. That is actually pretty legit for Ranuki. I'm not gonna fucking lie. Ranuki is 80 at least. Wouldn't say it's 85. It's not as good as Mali or these picks, but Ranuki is a solid 80 for me, which is the highest I've put that unit in a long time, I guess. These two, Helena can be... Wait, did I miss Diana? No, Diana is in there. Let's start off with checking if Helena's used enough. I don't think so, but we can always check. Nope. 60 matches. Doesn't count. Not used enough. Diana, however, is used enough. By a long shot, probably. Yes. Diana is 6.7% pick rate on a 50.28 win rate, which is decent. It's decent. Mainly a counter pick as well. I'm kind of curious what's the ban rate. 20% ban rate works better in the draft than outside of the draft. Yeah, I feel like Diana's just a solid last pick. Always has been, always will be. Solid last pick, 80 for Diana for me. We also have, the light one is not used, but Alexandra is used. And Alexandra is actually very good. Very, very good. Insanely good. Okay, win rate is insane. That's probably the highest win rate for a unit out there right now. Let's see if that is actually correct. Yes, that is the highest win rate. Pick rate is very low. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this unit because this unit is so freaking good. But you kind of have to have a proper draft around her of going turn 2 and that kind of shit. But she is at least 85, like bare minimum 85. Because she's just solid at what she does. Whereas an Asma has to do everything in one turn. If it doesn't work that one turn, Asma's probably fucked. This unit tanky as fuck. This unit can actually survive. This unit can actually do a lot of shit. And still make it work. Man, there's still so many units to put in this tier list. This is going to be my longest tier list video ever. My god! Oh well. I think I include way more units now than I did in the past. Continue on. We will get there. We're not on a time limit. We go in with a Tablo. Tablo over there. 51 win rate, which is still pretty solid. Like, Even though his units, like for example, the Dominic is slightly nerfed, Mo is still pretty good. But yeah, Tablo just 51 win rate. That's actually high. Would I put him 85 for that reason? No, I think I put him at 80 because he still has its own hard counters to it. But I actually feel like is he better than most of the things? No, he's kind of on par. He's kind of on par. Like I feel like he's fine on 80. Yes. Celia, is Celia even used enough? Might be. Not that much of a solid unit. Nope. Also pretty freaking low win rate. Vivachel, that one is actually pretty much used. Pretty sure. Vivachel's actually used a lot. 6.6% pick rate on Vivachel. That's a lot higher than I expected. Pretty high ban rate. People do fear the unit. I think it is. It's about as strong in the match as outside of the match. I feel like she's solid, but she's not an 80. She's 77.5. It is a threat that is dangerous to kill things, but or would it be 80? No, she goes 80. 80 tier is getting pretty full, but I feel like she fits the other units that are an 80. She's deadly. She can do her thing. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but still deadly. Yeah. Okay, we go in with the Paladins. First off, Josephine. I feel like Josephine is overspammed, and that drops her win rate. And her win rate is actually relatively low, 48.42. I actually feel like that 80 is getting that full that I want to split up 80 to 82. Which I am going to do right now, because I feel like there's a bunch of units getting into 82 that are just, or in 80 that are just better than the others. And Josephine is one of them, Tablo is one of them. I feel like Molong is one of those. Wusa, no, Wusa probably not. Diana's one of those. Leo's one of those. Vivachel's one of those. Tetra, arguably. I have a bias to Tetra because I actually have like Gianna and Neftis, but I feel like Tetra's fine. Tetra's fine. Vert is a luck pick most of the times. Like people, like if you counter on your first hit, you win. If you don't, you freaking lose. So I feel like it's fine for this for now. Yes, Asima does deserve a 1-up as well. Yeah, I think that's fine. That's fine. So we go on with we were at Paladins. Paladins Ophelia. I did see that Les was using Ophelia. He likes to use weird things. It didn't work out. It was actually pretty terrible. But let's see what the win rate says. Win rate actually says 53. These are all matches from Lest. No, I'm just kidding. But that's actually a higher win rate than I expected. But I feel like if this thing will be picked, more people get more used to it, and this thing will drop in win rate. Pretty sure. Like I feel like the unit is not that great. Yeah, I would just say this. Like even though it has a high win rate, I'm gonna put it 75. 75 for high win rate. Let's put it there. Let's put it there. Leona, a unit that's often hard to kill. And a very hard win rate. 55 on the win rate. Livert is pushing that win rate pretty high values. Same as Alexandra. Like legit, same tier. Like if you give Livert and Alexandra, you will be unstoppable. But that's pretty much the only turn 2 LD that he's missing, I guess. I could use an Asimon or some shit, but yeah, I feel like similar style. Like very good last pick, very hard to kill. We go on with a Herney. Herney is not used as much, but rarely actually a very solid unit. 55 on the win rate, 1.6 on the pick rate. That is a lot stronger than people give it credit for. So, would that be straight up 80? I feel like that would actually be 80. Currently, there's so many passives that she actually becomes interesting. Maybe somewhat biased on the win rate, but if you see like the pick rate... Oh wait, she's winning that much because she's banned that much. So people are just banning her a lot. Okay, that gives me 1 down. Like she has a super high ban rate. Ban rate kind of makes her like people misplay, and that gives her wins apparently. But solid unit for like 77.5, not gonna lie. We continue on with Druids. Everyone's favorite one that always procs on the enemy side. At least it feels like that. Especially in Arena. Wow, this is good. 10.77 on the pick rate and a 52.10% on the win rate. For Abellio, that's insanely high. That is legitimately insanely high. Very good against Cleaves. Very good against a whole bunch of things. Mainly Cleaves, actually. That is a lot better than I expected. And that deserves an 85. Maybe even more. No, that deserves a 90. That is literally on the Praha Juno level. That deserves a 90. How do you build Leona on RTA this season? I would go defense, crit damage, defense, no attack, and max out crit rate. On a Via Revenge or Via Will. I think both are viable. But that is solid. I'm also curious, Balanus was recently buffed. Does his win rate reflect his buff? Balanus? Wow. Okay. Okay, maybe I should start picking up this unit as well. It's not picked as much. Let's see in lower ranks where it maybe has. Okay, 50 is still good. Like 50 is legit still good. Okay, I should pick up on this unit. I think it's a unit maybe people sleep on, but that's... You can kind of only place it in like AWCC kind of comps. It's definitely like similar to Eureka, but maybe... No, it's similar to Eureka. Similar to Eureka, yeah. That's solid. That is actually very, very solid. Valantis with the nerf. Let's see where Valantis is at current day and age. It's the most light picked unit. That is actually pretty interesting. With a 53% win rate, so that nerf didn't do all too much to him. He was 54, 55 before. That is very solid. Is it solid enough to be higher? I feel like it is, because let's see if we go... That's actually... Let's reset this. And let's look at the win rates. And no, win rates. What is the first unit with a 10% pick? This one, arguably. First one with the 10% over pick. So that does deserve like a 97.5. Absolutely. Absolutely. Volantis is freaking insane these days. Still. Peter, whatever his name is. With a buff recently. Pretty solid units. But does reflect by the win rate as well. Good. Good. Why is Sean so high rated? Because he's good. Such a good. He's good, so he's high rated. But 49.5, 3, often banned. He's better outside of the draft than in the draft, so it's a really solid unit for like drafting purposes. And I feel like 82. It's a good last pick as well. I guess it's also mainly a good counter to like Gianna and stuff. I feel like he's pretty solid right now. Sean got buffed like 6 times already, I think. Then we go in for a... Wait, did I put it 82.5 for Peter? Is that too high? No, I'm gonna put Peter at 80. 80. Because it's not that high of a win rate. We continue on with Bolvrik. Bolvrik is very good current meta. I would be surprised if he's sub 50, but I think he's around 50 for the win rate. 50 points, 46. That is actually insane. Is he higher in lower ranks? I'm surprised. Like, I expected him to be way higher in lower ranks because he's relatively easy to rune and he still does as much value. Whereas in G3, like, the only difference is probably G3ers have him like 100 res and shit. And the correct set, which I say is Swift, or no, wait, Shield, Will, and Revenge. Those are the 3 best sets on him. So he can do the, what I call, I got your nose, you hit him and he steals your nose. But yeah, Bolvrik is very strong current meta. Bolvrik is 85 strong, definitely. Bolvrik is just hard countering so many things these days. Especially with like Manon being in there, Marsha getting buffs, Juno's getting buffs, Josephine getting buffs. Like there's so many things getting constantly buffs that this thing just becomes good. Geldnir. Geldnir is pretty interesting as well because a lot of people don't really know how to play against Geldnir. And that makes Geldnir a very high win rate. Wow, this is actually an insane high win rate. But Geldnir is very good because people don't know if you're fighting Gelnir, you hit the unit with full HP. If Gelnir has stacks, you hit the units with no HP or the one you actually want to kill when Gelnir has no stacks. Therefore, Gelnir can never heal that unit that you actually want to kill. But a lot of people notably don't know that. But Gelnir is very solid because there's so many buffs in current day and age that Gelnir just becomes good. Like, I think he's less spammable than Bolfric. He's one down from Bolfric. But where he's used in the correct draft, he's definitely like above Bolfric. But he's just less spammable, and therefore he gets an 82.5 from me. We go on with Bella. One of those units, very good, but very hard to rune. So that's where you see like the people in the very high top making her shine, and that's where if you try it, it's like, this unit doesn't do as much as where I see Roxas use it, or Obabo use it, or who else has the unit? Spires has it. Where is unit at? I expected it to be higher picked than it should be shown here, right? Over there. Win rate is relatively low. That is actually somewhat surprising. Let's see in lower ranks. In lower ranks, it actually does better. Ah, interesting. So, I think it's maybe a unit that's slightly overvalued, but I feel like she's good. 80 good. She's fragile. She's pretty fragile. That's true. But I would give her an 80. We go on with demons. Hard to counter. Yeah, she's hard countered by Manon. Like, Manon is going to slap her like every day pretty hard. But I feel like she's still pretty nice. She needs like 1k more base HP. Yeah, I think that the rune set, like, you have to invest really crazy runes into her to make her work, kind of. I'm gonna one down her for that. Because, yeah, if a unit is that hard to use, it's just, it loses value. And therefore also it loses a tier on the tier list. Makes sense, right? Demons, yeah, Mephisto. Mephisto was pretty decent into the hard Nana meta. You don't see as many Nanas anymore. But it's still doing good. It is definitely still doing good. And that is pretty interesting, I would say. So Mephisto is not used much, but I think 77.5. No, let's go 75. It's not used as much. Like, if it's used, it's good, but it's not used as much. It's also mainly just a passive totem. Like, it doesn't do anything that much by himself. You can make him a speed booster. It has 2 speed boosts. So that's maybe something I should do. Put a Swift set on. Would be interesting. We go on with Beelzebub. Whatever it's called. .3.5 pick rate on a 52.67 win rate. That is actually pretty good. And his ban rate, whoa, is that has to be the unit with the highest ban rate, is it not? No, actually, Rika, Douglas, and Isis are higher on ban rate. But this thing is a good third. That is pretty insane, not gonna lie. And it has still a high win rate. I'm curious to see, like, if he's... Oh yeah, ban rate doesn't count in that. If he's better in the match or just in the draft. No, actually, when he makes it to the match, he fucking destroys shit. Whoa, fuck. This unit good. This unit good. This unit is also one of the cooler units in the game. Like, not gonna lie, if I just want units for, like, what are your most wanted units because they're cool and shit, Beelzebub is very high up, Destiny is very high up. Those units are just cool. They're just fucking fun. They destroy shit in cool ways. But I'm gonna actually put it towards 9. Well, is 90 too high? I feel like he's better than the 85s. He's definitely better than the 85s. Destiny better than Beelzebub, but I'm biased. I think that's biased. I think Beelzebub is easier to rune, easier to use. So, yeah, I would say 90 is nice. But he is countered by a lot of resets. So he's not... Like, every match and their mom has Oliver in there. So there's too many counters to him as well, so you can't draft it as much, and it kind of makes him lose value. 85. Why Leona that high? Leona is an even higher win rate. Less picked, but very high win rate. And you got a very strong meta bruiser support meta right now, which makes it that Leona's mostly not able to kill. Even Robos can cut after Dark Demoness too. Yeah, that happens, that happens. Depends on how many buffs there were on the enemy though. If there were none, then yes, probably. Okay, so we had all the demons, Vigor is not being used, that Beast Riders. We start off with a Barbara. How far are you? This one, Barbara. Ooh, wow, Jeebus. That's actually a lot higher win rate than I expected. Barbara's doing good. I wonder if these are Swift or Iobaras. Maybe I should use Barbara where I use Stella. Well, Stella has more kill potential multiple times, but I could put a decent to good damage set on Barbara too. Ah, maybe I should use Barbara. Interesting, interesting. But yeah, the win rate seems pretty high for Barbaras. Mainly in G3 though. Interesting. So in G3, you need good runes to make this unit work. Where's Light Demon is not used in RTA. At least, don't think so. Is he? Let me give a quick peek. Lucifer's over there. Haha, below 0.5. So I don't have to pick thing. But yeah, Barbara's... he spams Barbara Tablo into Leo. Oh, wow, interesting. So yeah, I'm not necessarily sure like how good Barbara actually is. I don't see that unit all too much. I feel like she's somewhat counted by the Bruiser meta, if not even pretty hard counted by Bruiser meta. But she has good win rates. Well, I'm going to put her 75. I feel like 75 hits her. We go on for a Masha. Still the most picked units. Her win rate really dropped big time since her last nerf. Like she had like 49 and a half. And she dropped all the way to like 47. That's pretty big drop. Like 47.71. Still 71. Win rate, or the pick rate is very high still. Fourth most picked unit. But from the fourth most picked units, she is by far worse in win rate. She is good, but I think she's overspammed, and that's the main issue. I feel like she's still solid, but she's hella overspammed. And I feel like 85 for that low win rate? Is that fair? No, she's still dead usable in that many drafts. It's just hard to make it work. But I feel like 85 is still fine. Maybe 82.5. What do you guys say? 82.5 or 85 for Masha? Yeah, I think that the meta makes it difficult because she's bad into bruisers. She's terrible into the new cookie. 85 still? Okay, let's go 85. Let's go 85. The chat has spoken. Let's continue on with Savannah. Savannah always has a high win rate. Not that many people use it, and when she's using, she's like the last pick, and she actually has a terrible win rate today. Yeah, she has a higher win rate in other ranks. It's also one of those units that's so hard to rune because of her resistance lead that most of the people don't really put good runes to her, and therefore don't really use her all too much anymore. She mostly had high win rates, same as like Charlotte, but I feel like she's kind of similar to Charlotte. Why is she bad? I think she just fits less drafts, these things. Because like AoE-CC, she's good with AoE-CC, but currently, even with AoE-CC, she's not as good. Plus there's a lot of like counter passives. Like I think passives fuck her up in most cases. And a lot of the passives come also from like fire units. So Marcia, Brunuki, Bird, that kind of shit. Kind of fuck her up, I guess. We go in with a Narsha. Narsha used to be very high, but it's also one of those units that is getting harder and harder to use, I would say. Still a 52.39% win rate on a close to 4% pick rate, which is definitely not bad. That is most definitely not bad. Let me actually continue the run on my account. But it is also not crazy good. She is definitely better than Bella. Is she? I would say she's kind of on Beelzebub level. Yeah. Hard to use, but when she's used, she is very dead. Yeah, I would say that. We continue on. Marsha, Douglas, Juno. True. Those are all good counts into Seth. We go in with Sienna. I'm pretty curious to see what the Sienna win rate is at. I feel like she's pretty terrible still. Like her S2 is nice, but that's the same as Marsha S2, but without the passive. Her S3 is just too lackluster. She actually has a pretty decent win rate, but I think that's being spammed with like other LDs and stuff that make her kind of work. Not even. Wow, she's actually used with pretty interesting units, it seems. Really pretty interesting. Kind of draft is this? Yeah, it's just like this AoE CC kind of draft where like used with an Asima, used with a Maximilian, used with Asima Maximilian. Let's see how this guy is using it. Used with a Wu Yong and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think Siana only shines if you have the specific LDs to make her shine. And yeah, that's not that many possibilities. So I would say she's like on Sav level. She's nothing crazy good. Like even though her win rate is pretty high, maybe I'm biased because I have the unit and I tried to make it work in like millions of ways. She didn't really ever do anything for me all too much. But for me, she gets a 70 for that reason. Or does she get 75? Nah, she gets 75 because Sav is struggling more with elements than she is right now. That's the only one up you get from me. We continue on with these are all not being used. Hey gang, the Ass Masters. Starting with the Wet Ass Master. I mean Water Art Master. Same shit. One of those units that is just struggling. Like it's one of those units, it feels like, okay, this unit is going to counter the whole fucking shit. And then it's not going to do anything. Khan? Oh, you want to see Khan? I don't think Khan is that even used that much? Where the little birdie at? Well, if I can't find it right now, then it seems to be pretty low used. Yeah, I don't think that's that interesting. Let's go back to Hey Gang. So Hey Gang, 45.5% or 45% win rates, even lower when it's actually in the match. That's not great. That is not that great. I would still give him 75 because I feel like in the right draft, he can counter the whole draft and win it. But he's so hard countered by Robos. Robos just fuck him up. Like the other day, someone like literally first picked Nefties plus this thing against me. I'm like, Robo. Thing did fucking nothing. The data's incomplete. It doesn't have every match in there, no. And you have to be G3. Like, I'm not sure if your G3 could be, but it doesn't have every match in there, no. Let's move on to Jogun. Jogun? What? Wait. Why is this 55? Wow. This is my biggest surprise I've seen so far. I gotta check who's using this. Advantage against a bunch of things, I guess. Godly Width. Bunch of weird shit, it seems. Obama was using it a bunch of times, yeah. But let's see what other people... With Robos? He's good with the Bruiser meta, it seems. Okay, yeah, for AoE CC, you can scroll away like one of the Bruiser units. Interesting. Okay. That's the biggest surprise for me so far. So I'm going to actually... Oh, that was... Wait, where did I get that monkey from? I placed the monkey somewhere else before. Was it over there? I think so. Or was it at 75? Don't remember. I ruined the monkey. But Jogun, wait, where the fuck did... Oh, Jogun went over there. So yeah, Jogun is better than I expected. Wow. His pick rate is not insanely high. Ban rate is pretty high. When he's in the match, he's slightly lower. I think it's one of those units that shines right now because people don't really know how to draft against it with their bruiser shit. But that is nice. That is definitely something I would have to rune up as well. Use him, yeah, with like Maximilian, Onmyouji, those kind of drafts, it does become better, I guess. Let's continue on. Chung Peng, aka Chungus. I think 80 is too low. Is it though? Okay, let's... Well, he's actually 53. Like, in the match, he's 53, but let's give him one up. Let's give him a one up. Chungus. That's a very high pick rate. 33, and a positive win rate for a very high pick rate. That is actually insane. It's... Okay, so he's better. If he's let through in the draft, he's actually better. So if he's banned, he's worse. Okay, interesting. But that is a good fucking rate, like legit. Chungpong is something I should pick up more as well. Chungpong goes straight to 90 for me. Just way too solid of a pick rate, ban rate, everything. It has lower win rate than these two units, but it has a way higher pick rate, so that makes it fair. Hanwoo, no wait, not Hanwoo, haha, the non-Hanwoo, Mukwo. Mukwo is just as bad, like, in all honesty. Okay, I said nothing. I said that's actually pretty decent win rate. Wow, that's... Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I would actually rate it by win rate, because I feel like this unit is a lot lower than this for me. But I'm rating this by win rate. Yeah, that pretty much is that. So 84 Mukwo for me. We go in with more. The one unit that has been nerfed, has been buffed, has been nerfed, and also has been buffed. And then has been nerfed. But it is the second most picked unit. It is also the second most picked speed lead out there. It's probably the second most first pick as well. It is apparently. Wait. Yeah, it is. Neftis is the most first picked LD. Interesting. Well, it's doable. Like, if you spam Neftis in a specific draft, it is actually doable. But yeah, More's win rate did tumble a little bit. Pick rate is insanely high. First pick potential is insanely high. Yeah, no, I gotta give... Do I have to give him 90 for that? He's better than Marsha. He's definitely better than Marsha current meta. And for first pick potential, I will give him 90. He doesn't have that high of a win rate, but this pick rate and just the first pick potential, because, for example, CP, you cannot first pick. Like, any of those units, you cannot first pick. More, you can first pick. So, therefore, More gets a 90. We go on with Douglas. The unit you expect to do a lot, but then sometimes doesn't. But still a very good unit. 50% win rate. And probably in the 4v4, less. So he is a lot better when people are like, fuck, I have to ban it. But when he's actually let through, he doesn't do that much shit most of the time. But still, I feel like that draft value, and he's also, if I'm not mistaken, the highest or second highest most banned unit. Second highest most banned unit, highest banned unit for normal elements. That makes him good value. And I will give him 82.5. We continue on with... We had those. We were over here. Van Cliff. I don't see too many Van Cliffs still. Even though he was buffed again. He was slightly nerfed because of other units, and he was buffed again. And then he's still not being used as much. We're not gonna have to put that one in. Ken, however. I think Ken is shown as the other unit in here. It is. Also not picked enough. Not gonna do. Celia's not picked enough. Not gonna do. Carnal. Carnal has a very high win rate. Carnal always has been on a high win rate. And for me, it's one of those units I feel like I'm not sure if he's that good. Some people just make it work better than me. I don't really fear this unit in general, but it seems to be that he's pretty good into things still. Bad into AoECC. Good into all of her stuff. I think he's good into Leos. Yeah, definitely. Interesting. People overdraft all Douglas. He should be higher. If people pick him and he shouldn't be picked, would drag down his win rate. Fair. I do agree with you on that. Yeah, am I going to... I feel like if you expect Douglas to win, like, Vermos does the thing that Douglas does, but way better, actually. but lower pick rate. No, I keep Douglas at 82.5. Like Josephine kind of level, I think that's fair. That's already pretty high. But yeah, Cardinal. Did I already place Cardinal somewhere? I placed Cardinal at 80, but I feel like Cardinal's 82.5 as well. I'm somewhat biased to feeling that Cardinal is worse than his win rate is representing. Because his win rate is representing at least like 85 to 90. Okay, I'm gonna put him 85 because his win rate actually represents like close to 90. So I would say Cardinal 85. Yeah, I think that's fair. He needs good runes to work as well. I think in lower ranks he probably has a lower rank, doesn't he? Yep. Yeah, totally expected that. Cardinal, actually, you want that crit rate Cardinal, or even crit damage Cardinal, but then you want it fast, a lot of HP, additional damage, blah blah, accuracy, the whole shebang, everything except attack and resistance, pretty much. That is not that easy to build, so for that reason, it is hard to rune. We go on with Cigar. Man, this is literally the longest tier list I've ever made. I'm already working on this tier list for an hour and 52 minutes. So if you make it all the way through the whole video on YouTube, you're an absolute legend. You deserve that. So Cigar, 54.19% win rate on a close to 6% pick rate. That is insanely high. And I never understood that. Like, legitimately. His win rate pretty much represents this, like, straight up. But I never understood Cigar. Like, against it, I don't fear it. With it, I feel like it's doing nothing. But for some reason, people are getting, like, very high, solid win rates with it. And it's actually seeming like speed contesting quite some. Like, good against Wunsa. Why? Good against Desarion, good against Monkey. Why? Cigar is good into a Water Cookie? No, it doesn't seem that way. Like, it's good against Molong. I understand that. I get that. But good against Juno Ragdoll? Why? Like, I don't get Cigar. Like, I'm not sure if there's... Let's see. Timbo is the highest Cigar user with very high win rate. That's actually pretty high win rate. Let's see what kind of Cigar picks we have. I think Firas is also using Cigar. But yeah, this one lost. That one lost. That one won. Yeah, I'm gonna put him 82.5, and this is purely just on the win rate statistics, actually. Because I feel like he's worse. That's what I feel like. But his win rate actually shows pretty significant high values. But I feel like he's... I don't know. Like, for the win rate, like, this is insanely high. This is actually legitimately insanely high. I should get some value to him again. But let's say 85. 85 for Cigar. But win rate bias, let's call it that way. We have Crack. I have been seeing more people use Crack. Actually, Jin Yao I haven't seen played that much recently, but I've seen other people use it. I actually saw a guy use Pontus and Crack together, which is kind of fun. Is this mainly used in cleaves nowadays, though? Let's see the godlike width. No, it's actually not that much cleaves, and that's the interesting part. Like, a lot of people think like, oh, I have Crack, so I have to use him in a cleave. That's actually apparently not the case. You can use, okay, Alicia as a cleave, but all of the others are not that necessarily cleave teams. Like, even those, like, sure, we see some cleave teams in here, but it's not like full-on AoE CC cleaves. Like, literally, just one AoE CC cleave in this whole list. So I feel like Crack is one of those units that people kind of sleep on as well. That might be better than you think. I'm gonna give it an 80 for that. He's actually better, like, good in the draft as well. Interesting. We have Gurkha. I feel like people undervalue Gurkha right now. He's by far nowhere near as strong as he used to be. But I still feel like he has some usage. Wait, is he used that little that he's not even on that list anymore? Wow. Okay. Apparently he's trash. Apparently win rate says he's trash. And he's that much trash that he's... okay. I still feel like he could be useful. That's what I feel like. My feeling means nothing in this game. We're throwing him in the meme. Just for the sake of it, I throw him in the meme. He's not using any con. Yeah, they should have like not got his whole fucking healing. They should have made his healing like 5% or like 3%. Like give it a fucking arbitrary like low ass fucking number. But not 0. 0 just gutted the unit. It's like, we want this unit in the fucking trash. 20 matches for Lulu. I love that. That's fuck Lulu. Stupid unit. Lulu meta was the worst meta we ever had. Thank you. Don't use Lulu. Shizuka, second most picked wind unit with a, or water unit, sorry, with a 50.76, only 38.69. That is solid. That is absolutely solid, and that's absolutely still 90. I do really like that she cannot do S2 on self. Like, she literally used to be S2 self, like this rank. I should drop to a 90. It's fair. Shizuka 90. We go on with Tamu. I have no clue how you pronounce this name. Should probably put it in the Google Translate at some point. Win rate is not that high. Pick rate is pretty decent. I feel like it's one of those units. If you land everything, very good. If you don't, sucks to be you. But still a relatively interesting unit. I would say that I would put it at 80 actually. It is a better speed lead than Sierra right now. Eludia, do I actually want to one down Eludia? It's very hard to make it work and it's cleave only. Okay, I'm gonna one down Eludia actually. Maybe even 2 down because no one fucking uses it. No one uses this shit. But actually has good win rate. But no one uses this shit. But she has good win rate. So yeah, Tomoe 80 is fine. We go in for Gye. I have no clue how you pronounce that name as well, but it sounds funny as Gye. And Gye has 45% win rate, 45.6. It's one of those units, if she stuns all the time on Despair, very OP. If she doesn't, very shit. Nothing in between. Is a fun unit, but I feel like it's not Josephine tier. I feel like it's a good counter pick, but definitely not Josephine tier. Actually, maybe like for the low win rate that she has, I might want it down. People pick her too early. Yeah, I think people just overspam this. Like, oh, Oliver, I mean, spam this unit. Good luck on stunning. Like, not really. Like, it's good, but not that good. Like, if she's countering 2-3 units, she's nice. But she's not countering everything. Plus, I feel like people should actually build damage on her. Because often she's just fucking ignored. If you build some damage on her, she actually becomes a lot better. Now we have Seimei. Seimei recently buffed to do more of what she already did pretty good. I think that buff pretty much didn't help her that much. Because at the point she was doing what she was doing, she was already good. Seimei is actually pretty high win rate. Wow, that's insane. That is actually insane. Like 55% win rate on a 5% pick rate? I think you need to have a pretty heavy bruiser team to make this work. Like, for example, you see this kind of shit, like Leona and that. You see a lot of, like, LDs pairing with her. So that just makes her pretty solid, I guess. Maybe I should use this unit more often as well. There, she's banned, she lost, she banned, she lost. In this case, straight up into a Wusa. Interesting. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I don't use her as much where I just say, like, okay, there's one unit on the field. Maybe I should use her more. Maybe I should use her more. But my bias says that she's lower than these units, but the win rate says that she's this. I'm going to put her here because she's better like than Pheromones and that kind of shit. So yeah. If she's put in the right draft and she's let through in the draft, she's going to win that draft. We go on with Domon. I feel like Domon in current meta is pretty good as well. Issue that she has is she has to land her shit. But if she lands her shit, you dead. Like, your Molly dead. Like, your Gyu dead. Your everything dead. She just kills. And her win rate actually represents that as well. 53 is nice. That is most definitely nice. So, she's not used as much. And she still has to land her shit. But I feel like she's very nice. 82.5 for Duman. We go on with I think none of these are used. I can check Kahli real quick, but I don't think Kahli is used in RTA. Doesn't seem like it. Oh, it's not used enough, haha. Only just used in the cleave. Let's go for Kinky. Kinky's second most used LD unit with a high win rate of 51.17 on a 8.36 rate, which is legit. That is actually legit. Very good last pick as well. I would say straight up 85. Is that 85 too high for him? No. 85. Yeah, it's Molly level. It's definitely Molly level. It's just a very solid, annoying pick that if you don't have the correct units on the field to counter it, you're going to have a bad day. Then we're going into Mr. Onmyouji. And Onmyouji has the highest win rate for a high pick rate unit. Onmyouji is actually insane. Onmyouji is literally insane. True was pretty hard buffing that. It is mostly paired with other LDs, or pretty often paired with other LDs. Kind of. Let's see what he's the godly with. Actually, not even that. Mostly LDs. Like quite often LDs. Like he's very good with the Nefties. He's very good with a Nikki. I understand the Nikki. I'm surprised Nefties is not in this list, but I feel like Onmyouji is very strong. And would I be biased if I say that Onmyouji maybe deserves a 100 spot? And hear me out on that one. Onmyouji is insanely good in the speed meta. It is super good in the speed meta. But he's also very good in the turn 2 meta. Because even against bruises, this thing procs once, your bruise are dead. I feel like this thing deserves 100. Because, again, let's look at the win rates. Let's look at the pick rates. Onmyouji nerf next patch, you'll see. But if we look at the win rates, Onmyouji is number 4, but he's more than twice as much picked as the other ones, like even close to it. That's crazy. Like, win rates just show that this unit is insane. And let's see in the 4v4. Whoa, no, this unit is 100%. This unit is fucking 100%. This unit is so fucking 100. Holy shit, man. So if it's banned, it drops its win rate. But if it's not banned, it gets 2% extra win rate. Yo, that unit busted, man. That unit busted. Like, man, that unit is 100, straight up. Straight up fucking 100. Like, no argue with that. He also doesn't care about the parry. Yeah, if the parry stuns, he still fucks, man. He's also not countered by Ragdoll. True. Like, a lot of the things here on the list... Yeah, that's actually true. Like, look here on the list. This thing counters that. This thing counters that. This thing counters that. This thing counters that. This thing also counters that. These two kind of counter him. Like, he counters pretty much the whole fucking top list already. Like, what the fuck? That unit busted. I don't mind it's being busted. I don't say it necessarily needs a nerf. But he is very good. He's insanely good. I'm actually curious to see if Kahli is used in RTA. Kahli is used. More than 1%. I think it's just something that people like to use with Shizuka. Not crazy good, but it can have some usage here and there. And I think it's pretty niche, actually. Probably like some kind of cleave stuff as well. I feel like Kahli can be one of those units that people should maybe pick up as well. Namwil Kahli versus Leo things? Exactly. I think Kahli... No, actually Kahli, not to think of it, also that, the Leo counter. Yeah, I think Kahli is maybe a unit that people should pick up. Let's continue on with Nana. Yeah, also with... Like, she's slightly worse because Douglas is nerfed, but giving attack buff and speed buff to a Douglas, ooh, that's strong. Onmyouji and Kahli, ooh, that is strong. I was saying Nana. Nana is being nerfed 16,000 times, and after a 16,000 nerf, she's still 60% pick rate, but her win rate did kinda tumble towards like a 50-50-ish. Which I think is fair, but it's still a good unit. It is most definitely still a good unit. I think she's still like good, mainly with LDs, Onmyouji, Ragdoll, blah blah blah, that kind of shit. But I would say 82.5 for Nana, definitely. Because 50 plus win rate on a 60 pick rate is nice. 82.5. We have Coco. Where damn Coco at? I do like it as a Leo counter, but only as a Leo counter. And that also shows her ban rate mostly. Because I'm pretty sure she's mostly picked into a Leo and then she's banned and that kind of shit. She's better in the match or outside of the match. She's better like being banned and shit. But she's over a 0.5% pick rate. Just gonna put her over there. It's nothing crazy, but it can be used. It can be used. Yes, we got a Kiki. Kiki is very good for other things, but in here, I'm not sure. I also like the way how they nerfed Kiki. Like they didn't destroy the unit. The unit is still good. Like siege defense, still good. Siege offense, maybe not, but more RNG, but still good. And most of the time when they nerf a unit, it's just like, we got this unit to the ground. We Gurkha this unit. But for this one, they didn't really do that. But, oh, she's over here. 50. Okay, lower ranks. I think she's better in lower ranks because her rune requirements is lower. So G1, yes. G1, definitely more value. G3, a good last pick-ish. I'll give her a 75. Maybe a slightly bias on that, but... yeah, let's give her 70. Let's give her 70. She better in or out of the match. G1, she has pretty high value. G3, the value kind of lags. Yeah, I would say 70, since we're looking at G3 mainly, so let's go for that. We go on with Sky Service, Mr. Miles. Miles is a 49, high pick rate though. Exactly same in the matches outside of the match. You don't see that too often, but pick rate very high. Ban rate, decent. I think Miles, probably if we check Miles in lower ranks, it's higher win rate. It's not slightly higher, but higher. Reason expected that, like most of the times units with lower rune requirements have higher win rate in lower ranks. So Miles, technically, you just need speed. You just need some HP, you're good to go. You don't need 16 stats. Whereas, for example, Bella needs 16 stats to make it work. Miles is below a 50 win rate, but he is counted hard by Leo. I feel like it's not as strong as these units. No, it is as strong as these units. I think Miles is somewhat overspammed as well some of the times, where it doesn't counter things that well. But I feel like a good Miles draft is hella dead. So Miles goes 85 for me. You have John, pretty sure that's not used in G3. Pretty sure it's not used in G3. If I don't see it here, it's most definitely not used. Can't even see it. Oh, it's over there. More. Whoa, wait. 1.5 on a 53? Okay, I guess. That's better than I expected. People just... wait, what kind of drafts are people they're using this shit in? That's a lot higher than I expected. This guy legitimately spamming the living shit out of it. Okay, it was banned over there. Did win over here. Bombs with it. Okay, I guess. How the fuck does that even win that? How the fuck does that win Seimei? You sacked his ass. John banned over there. This is the main John spammer. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's just a cleave setup then. This one makes sense, but even then. Maybe I should give John some love as well. I got good fatal runes, but... yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay. Let's skip him 75. Like, I had some surprises here on the tier list so far. Like the Jogun was kind of a surprise for me. Jogun, John, Barbara, and Sienna were actually higher than expected. We go the one and only Oliver, most picked unit in the game as of today and still is with. Even though like 16 nerfs, he's still pretty good. And most first picked and everything. I think Oliver deserves a 95.5. Still. Even though it's nerfs, even though everything, I still believe Oliver is probably the strongest unit in the game. Yep. Yeah, he's definitely 2 tiers above like all of that shit. I do think so. 97.5. The win rate is high though. The win rate is high. Yeah, I do agree. Let's one up him. What do you guys say? 95 or 97.5? Let's see what did you guys say. Why is Nicky so high? One of the highest win rates. 97.5. I see mostly 97.5. So I'm gonna add it for that. 102.5. No. It's not that. Like pre all of the nerfs, it will be 102.5. Yeah. Daniel's not used, pretty sure, but Jackson might be used. Jackson is actually pretty high win rates, 52.40, and that is mainly because he's good with Ragdoll. Wouldn't use it next to Avert, but he is very nice against CP and some of the pushback like into a more CP, a Jackson, it's very deadly. It's a very strong pick. Like, let's see if advantage. Let's see what we see. Makes doesn't even show these, but these are all like fucking 3 matches. I wish it showed here like how many matches it is. Daniel's great. Maybe if you know a guy in real life called Daniel, but not here in game. Oh, he actually has positive win rate. Pretty sure it's spammed with like a light monkey or some shit. I kind of have to pick it. It is above 0.5%. But Daniel doesn't get too much from me. Daniel gets 65. It needs too much setup, like any other unit would. Like if you draft Daniel, probably any other unit would probably do same or similar to it as well. I think. So yeah, 65. I pretty much never played against Daniel in all honesty. We go in for Robos. Robo Gaming. We start off with a Fire Robo. The one unit that likes to despair stun me 16 times over. Which is actually trash. It's one of those, like, I have this one clip right now where this thing stuns me 16,000 times. I can showcase you that, and I put it on YouTube saying, like, oh my god, this is the best unit ever. And then you're gonna try it, and it's going to fucking fail because the unit is actually not that great. Yeah, that is an option. It's good against Gianna. It's okay against Gianna, I guess. I have it ruined as well, but yeah. Daniel, don't give a fuck about your brews or non-passive nonsense. Yes, but still it has to move at a specific time, which makes things hard, I guess. So yeah, Robo, this one is not even used, so I'm not even going to fucking place it. Okay. This one, however, is used a lot. This one is used a hell of a lot. And it's pretty solid. That is pretty solid. So yeah, this Robo I would say is hella busted. Would this Robo maybe even be better than that? Nah, it doesn't have above 50 win rate. So I can't argue with it. But the Robo might have been nerfed. Like, I feel like that will be fair. Robo, like the wind one, is very strong right now. Let's see what the Dark Robo does. Dark Robo seems even stronger. Holy shit. Okay, that's something I didn't expect, actually. Well, the Wind Robo has, like, the setup, or the Wind Robo doesn't need setup to follow up and to actually annihilate a team. Dark one just annihilates teams. So I'm actually going to put Dark one on 92.5. Is that fair, though? The pick rate is somewhat low. So I feel like this is only spammed in teams where you have, like, a very specific team to cycle the whole thing with it. Not surprised that Obabo has the most win rate on that. Because he has most of the dark units plus a Han, which makes the unit just very solid. No, I feel like I'm actually going to put them same tier, because the spammability of this one is lower than this one. Because this one doesn't need setup, this one does need setup to move after it. So for that reason, more 1-up, more has a negative win rate, more is below 50% win rate. So therefore, more is like way lower win rate than anything in this whole tier list, or like anything on this whole tier on 90. So therefore, I would say more is safe on 90. We continue on with Alaya not used. Nora is used. Man, this tier list is going to be like 3 freaking hours by the time we're done. Oh, fuck it. Nora. 1.5. 0. Well, why? Boot? Is this better in lower ranks? Apparently, a unit not used. 404, not found. The win rate, non-existing. Riley, however. Probably pretty decently high pick rates. Right? Wait. Where'd I unit at? I kind of expected. I looked at pretty high, but I expected it to be like around here, but it was right over there. It's the second most picked unit for wind. Did not expect that. 13.9, only 50 win rate. That's still pretty solid, and it's good with the current bruiser meta. I wouldn't say 85, but definitely an 82.5. Highly a solid. Yeah, or maybe 85. No, I feel like these units are more niche than what Riley does. 82.5. These units are all not used for RTA. Carlos is... Carlos... I don't have Liam on this tier list, but I bet you if I look up Liam, it's just literally one person using it, putting its absolute best runes on it, and then it kind of works. Actually, Liam together with Jogan. Oh, that's pretty nice, I guess, but... Carlos win rate 48. Nothing too crazy. It's more niche than anything, actually. It can work in some drafts where it kind of kills everything, but since Nana's nerfed, you don't see as many Nanas anymore, so you see less Carlos as well. So I would say 75 for Carlos. Let's actually, I do not have Liam in here, but let's look for funsies at the Liam win rate, pick rate, and the kind of chess. Should we be looking at him right now? It's one of those units that's probably a lot lower. Not this low. Above Ikaru. Okay, then search for Ikaru. Fuck. Second column. Okay, second column. That helps a lot more. Thank you. Yeah, it's just literally like it's literally 5 matches, like 19 matches from Obabo, and you won like a kind of bunch of times. That doesn't make a unit good. Like, no, that's just throwing your best runes at a unit, and that's below 0.5. Yeah, that's it. I think he's decent, but he's not crazy good in RTA. I guess he's nice together with a Jogun kind of style. So I'm not gonna place him. It's also not in the list right now, so. We go on with Dominic, the man that has been nerfed, but still on a 50.23% win rate on a close to 90% pick rate, which is definitely not bad. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you put your best, or like if someone with very good rune quality puts his best set on a specific unit, any unit would probably be good. It's also, if you put a okay-ish units, let's say you put an okay-ish unit on very good runes next to 3 really good units, that 4th unit barely any matters. Like, it already wins. But Dominic, 50% win rate. I would say Dom is a 82.5. is still good for the one-shot. Yeah, it's more long level. It's good for the one-shot, but in like longer fights, it's kind of struggling if it gets below the 50% HP. These cats are not used. Minato is, I think, slightly used, but not as much. Nope. Minato is not used. Ren was buffed, but I also don't really see it being used, I think. Ren. Nope. Oh, wait, Maximilian. Thank you. Thank you. Totally missed Maximilian. Maximilian, where are you at? You're pretty high. Below 50 win rate. I am actually surprised that Maximilian is below 50 win rate. He is spammed in one specific draft where he has to cleave or lose. That's just it. But I feel like Maximilian is still nice. He just has so much more rune requirements and is so much worse in a bruiser fight than a Nephthys is, for example. But has the speed lead, so 85 for Maximilian for that. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. 85. Yes, no, Shun, and Zen. Let's see if these units are actually used. Is used. It's about 50, like 0.5, but this unit is shit. This unit is straight up shit. We go down for a Shin, just being spammed by Mr. Glorious himself. And Glorious is tanking the win rate. But the pick rate is at least there. So I have to place this somewhere. And I feel like this unit is also carried by his other shit. Is Maxi Josie not a good combo or a meme combo in G3? It's more of a meme combo in G3. It's not as great. I can actually check Manx pretty fast. But I think it's nothing used as much. Last one is Ritsu. Ritsu I also haven't seen in RTA all too much, but it has some potential, I would say. Where is unit at? Okay, a lot of time that for this tier list is just searching for units. Fourth column here. Wait, can I count? No, this is fourth. Thank you. Yeah, call out the column if you see them. Okay, never fucking used. Waste of time. We got Amber. Amber needs a lot of setup and therefore makes it hard in RTA to use. But when used and properly used, she's very good. 52.5. She's my favorite unit in arena offense as well. So I feel like she has some potential. But she needs a lot of setup to be good. So 75 for Amber. Even though she has pretty high win rate. Yeah, I feel like she's worse than Rika because Rika doesn't need setup. Amber does need setup. She can screw you over pretty badly. These units are not really used. Sonia not used. Veronica, however. Now we're talking. Veronica, where are you at? Over there. Win rate did tumble a little bit, but she's still insanely strong. She is inconsistent because she has to strip and then she has to reset. But because of the Robos and because of you can make more faster than her, you have just one thing, and then it's 2-turn AoE reset. 2-turn AoE reset is insanely strong still. So you just need other strippers faster than her. So you need a more faster than her, you need a Robo faster than her. But I don't think she's as strong as Onmyouji because she needs more units next to her to survive the bruiser meta. So therefore Veronica gets a 97.5 for me. Then we go on to the coolest unit in the game, but is not as crazy good, but it is still a very cool unit. Destiny. It's below like the pick rate, but I actually do want to use it. Do want to put it in. This unit is just straight up cool. I don't think it's insanely good, but it's just very cool. I think 75, but she's so hard to make it. She's like 10 times harder to rune than Bella. She's like Bella, but then you need 100 crit rate. And you need like a lot of attack. You don't need accuracy though, but she's just insanely hard to rune. GingerBrave. Oh fuck, now we're talking about a stupid ass unit. Wait, where's the GingerBrave even on this list? Or is GingerBrave outshone as this unit, right? Fucking terrible. Man, if you're using GingerBrave in G3, stop it. Don't. Don't. Like, come on. I so hope with the new collab, the unit doesn't end up here. Like, man, please. At least let it be good for something. This unit is just straight up trash. Now we go for everyone's new favorite unit. Manon. Actually, her win rate started to drop quite a bit. And she has been picked less because people just notice, like, you just go Balfric into it. But she's still very strong. I would say 85 at least. Like, I'm not that... Like, I think a lot of people would, based on my last few videos, which make reasonable sense to think that I would say, oh, Manon is this. No, Manon is not that. Manon is like 85. But the stupid thing is, same as Antares, a Manon that parries all the time is 100. A Manon that never parries is like fucking 75. That is Manon. And that's why I dislike her. So, for that reason, she is a lot better than Antares. She's 100% better than Antares because she just does a lot more. And she has way higher win rate, whereas Antares' win rate is actually pretty terrible right now. But she is very annoying. That's the main thing. She's not insanely good, she's very annoying. That's the only thing. Like, you get the annoying reward. It's the same as like in the Netherlands, we have rewards for commercials. You have like a reward for the best commercial, but we also have a reward for the most annoying commercial. She wins that award. That is what she does. I think the others are not really used in art. Oh, Dark One is actually used in RTA. I want to see what the Light One... Is that ever used in RTA? No, and apparently you shouldn't. Dark One is good though. Arguably good. Win rate is somewhat low. I expected her to have a higher win rate. Wouldn't say that she's bad, but apparently like she needs a lot of setup or other units to do something around her. I don't know. But we are going to place her because 3% win rate and just below 50%. Or 3% pick rate, just below 50% win rate. I think she is pretty legit still. Yeah, 80. I feel like 80. Definitely 80. Nothing too crazy, but... Or would she be 82.5? No, I feel like she's kind of like on par with the other units in this tier. We continue on with the cookies, pure vanillas, all not used except the dark one. Dark one is shown as this thing. Wow. Not used much, but that is a good win rate. I've actually seen this unit being used with Tomoe together. And the thing is, with Tomoe or Shizuka together, you have an AoE of Oblivion. Because beside this thing being a stripper, it is also Oblivion on the turn 2. Or the S2. That makes her very solid. So she is hard to rune. She has to be... I would say if you just make her faster than all of your Vio units, you're probably already good to go. You don't need her insanely fast. But I feel like this unit has some real potential. It also has heal. Yeah, S1 also heals. So I feel like she's good. She's definitely good. I think she's underused. Because she has so much potential with that Oblivion. There's so many bruisers right now. She doesn't touch any of the bruises while she strips. So she doesn't get counted and that kind of nonsense. Plus she has the Oblivion and then you can spread it on another unit. That's insane. Plus she has bruiser potential because of the healing. That's a good solid unit right there. We go on with the Puppeteers. Oh, actually I put in both Puppeteers, Awakened and Non-Awakened. The only thing I actually have to put in is Sibala. The other ones are just not used. But Sibala is very used. Sibala. Over there. 51, close to 52% win rate on a 7 pick rate. That is very good. Better in the draft than outside of the draft, which is most of the cases with like speed contesting units. Sibala, is she a 90? 85 for sure, but is she 90? Yeah, speed lead, speed contesting, yes. I feel like Sibala is 90. I feel like she definitely deserves 90. So yeah, that is it for the whole tier list. Holy shit, we took 2 hours, 31 minutes. That is pretty long. Do I want to up 1 unit or down 1 unit in any kind of shape or way? No, I think that's actually pretty solid tier list. I think in general, this list is pretty solid. 92.5 for high bend rates. I'm not sure. Wait, one unit that I actually missed is Eshir. I don't have Eshir in the tier list. That is the only unit I missed. So let's actually fit in Eshir. None of you guys actually mentioned, like, hey, how about Eshir? You guys are like, fuck Eshir. No one cares about this unit. Okay, let's see. Eshir is somewhat on a lower win rate. You are Eshir. I'll just edit it out before I post it on Reddit. Eshir for me is 82.5. It is good. No, 85. 85 for Eshir. It's a very solid speed contesting unit. It's on par with Aethna. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Win rate is somewhat lower though. But maybe people also overspam it, kind of. Because everyone has it. Would I want Upsibala? The win rate is high. Bend rate is high as well, but no, I feel like the other units also have like pretty much either high. The pick rate is not as crazy high. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at this. This is Eshir, and that's all for this tier list. Tier lists are always so intense when it's so much talking. It is so much talking. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it as is. I'm gonna leave it as is.